Okay guys, before you start, make sure you've got your tubes of Gorilla Grip. It was supplied by your merchant when you bought the board. You'll also need some 8 gauge per 50mm countersunk screws. First up, check you've got your joist spacings correct. Joist should be no wider than 600 centres, but the closer the joist, the more rigid your floor is going to be. Your sheet must be a continuous span over at least 3 joists. Before you put down your first sheet, whack some nails into the joist to hold the first panel in place. You'll need to allow for an 8mm expansion gap at the edge of any panel that's going to collide with a masonry wall. Now you're ready to glue the joist, so put a good amount on the joist underneath where you're going to lay your first sheet. You know the rules, glue it and screw it. When you're laying the panels at the floor edge, make sure you support it with some blocking. For your first sheet, take a straight square line from one corner of the floor and lay the panel down this line, across the glue joist to butt up against the nails. Then screw it down. For Ultralock, screws need to be 10mm in from the edge. Your screws need to be spaced at 150 centres along the short edge of the sheets and around the whole edge of the floor. For intermediate joists, it's 200mm centres. And if you're captain sensible, you will have already pre-drilled the holes before you screw it. Completely fixed sheets when you lay them down. Corner fixing is a bit shabby and not enough to hold the panels as the glue cures. Now you need to apply a glue bead to the edges of the first Ultralock panel. Do a continuous run of at least 5mm diameter. The more you put in, the better. The stuff cures fast, so don't mess about. Fix the next panels within 15 minutes of the glue being applied, or you're going to be in trouble. You'll know when you've done it right when the glue squeezes out from between the sheets as you push them together. Lay the sheets in a staggered brick-like pattern with the panels at right angles to the joists, making sure you glue all edges and the joists underneath. This will stop the squeaking and peaking and any squealing from your client. By the way, Gorilla Grip adhesive works best in conditions above 10 degrees, though it can be used down to 5 degrees. That about does it. Just make sure you don't walk on the floor for a minimum of 2 hours after you've glued it and screwed it, especially if your joists are at 600mm centres or in cold conditions. If you have to walk over it, lay planks across the floor or walk directly across the joists only. If you're still confused, you better go ask a proper builder. Cheers.